Welcome back to the Sidetrack'd podcast.
Oh my god. What are you talking about? We're really about to do this all over again.
Welcome to the first ever episode of Sidetrack'd. I'm your host, Mary Jo Jessica. This has been a long time in the making, I will say. I think, essentially, I thought of the idea to start a podcast, I would say August 2022. And at the time, I was planning on doing it with a co-host, and I brought the idea up to the person. I was all like, hey, I'm thinking of doing this. I feel like our dynamic would work well. I feel like we have interesting things to say on certain topics, and we're usually on opposition of those, opinions. Most of the time. Sometimes we were, together on things. Sometimes we were together, but we had differing views on certain, minuscule things within the discussions. But for the most part, I liked our dynamic. I liked what we were doing. So I offered this person, co-host. We were doing it together. It was originally only supposed to take about a few months to get this started. It was very, a half-assed, idea at first. I was like, I want to start a podcast because when we talk, I feel like it makes, people would love watching us argue. Actually, people had said that prior to me coming up with this idea. People were all like, oh, I love when you and this person, are arguing. It's always so funny and, entertaining. And I was thinking the same thing. I was like, hold up. We're funny as all hell. We need to, videotape this and put it out there to the public. They're being deprived of what they need, right? So it was a very half-assed, idea to begin with. And then it took so long to get everything set up. From the get-go, it was a dragging process having someone else there. I mean, we were both fully into it. It wasn't I was, forcing this person to do the podcast with me or whatever. We were both putting in how much effort we would put into any project we're passionate about. It's just when I'm passionate about something, I go, 150%. Versus this person is not the same. It's just not how they live their life, which I knew that from the get-go. I mean, that's why we butt heads a lot of the time. But I digress. It was taking a really long time. It was half-assed. I wanted to, start it the second I said I want to start a podcast. I wanted to start it the day after. Even though we had none of the equipment, had no idea how to edit, how to record. None of this stuff was planned out at all. I was just we just need to start. We just need to go and do it. But, I didn't have anything fleshed out for, what I wanted it to look like at all. So we took months planning, getting stuff together, even though it didn't really need to take that long. We, took months picking a name, picking, decorations and, furniture and, equipment. We took months planning all of it. We poured in all of our money, money that we got from our jobs, and then 6 months into the process of us, doing it, or, actually, 3 months into the process of us doing it, we were not even, hold up, I'm getting my dates confused. Literally a month after I brought this up to the person, they were all oh, it'd be cool if we had another co-host, because, dynamic-wise, it would just work. If we had 3 people on the podcast, it would work. We were looking for a third co-host. We had technically already solidified who that third person was going to be. But, having we hadn't reeled them in yet. They wanted to, we wanted them on, we just needed to figure out the logistics of everything, because obviously having 3 people versus 2 people is way harder to schedule, because we all have our different lives. 2 people was already hard to get us in the same room at the same time to begin with, but now having 3 people, we had to really figure out the mechanics of everything. We had to think about microphones and shit like that. Just a whole bunch of other stuff got added when we wanted to add a third person. And then 6 months into the process, we had everything planned out, logos, promos, everything. We were going to launch in January of 2023. And now I don't talk to either of the people who I was going to co-host with. Neither of them. Haven't spoken to either of them. I haven't spoken to one of them in 6 months. I haven't spoken to the other one since April. No communication, no contact. We are not friends. So that was pretty tough. specifically because I had to scrap every single idea I had for the podcast. Obviously, it was supposed to be like this funny thing where like I'm bantering with another person, maybe 2 other people. Had to like scrap all the promos because they made no sense, like with an individual styled podcast. Like everything that could have possibly went wrong. So I was all like, okay. And it was like a hard time too. Like the reason that we're not all talking, it was a weird time, right? So not only did I lose this venture, but like on top of that, like I just felt so depleted from the situation at hand that I kind of like almost gave up. Not gave up, because I don't do that. But like I like felt like I lost everything all at once. Like it was such a shattering moment because I had been working on it for 6 months. Like originally it was like a half-assed idea, but spending 6 months on a project, you're gonna put everything that you have into it, and it's going to take up majority of your time. Like I had spent so much time and I had put in so much effort into making everything how I wanted it to be, and it all like literally vanished within seconds. And it was the most heartbreaking thing I have ever experienced, and I'm still not completely over it. Like there was supposed to be a completely different vibe for this podcast. Don't worry, I'm still gonna keep the vibes going, but like this was not the original idea. But I took like a second, like I took like a month, and I was all like, oh, this is so sad, like let me pity myself, like oh my god, I'm so sad, and like everything goes wrong. And I was like, Mary Jo, you're an idiot. Like you from the get-go were the reason the wheels were even turning. You are the reason this was even an idea in the first place. You are the reason why anything even got done to begin with. You put all your effort into this, and you were putting in like 150% when everybody else was not. Like, you are the reason this is happening. You need to get your ass off the couch and finish this project. You are not giving up. Because I had already spent a shit ton of money just to get to this point. I wasn't giving... Like, we were literally, like, a week away from filming. And then everything fell apart. So I was like, you're not giving up now. Like, that's just not happening. And now here we are. Thank you. Like, I'm literally, like, just, like... I'm so great at everything I do. It's like amazing. Like I'm just the embodiment of a strong black queen. Like I don't even know what to tell you. Like it's honestly crazy. But on that note, I wanted to start this first episode off a little light, you know? And because I was dealing with some trifling ass hoes, mind you, the 2 people who were supposed to be doing this with me, which one of them was more so in it than the other one, so I'm not really, like, if you think I'm dragging you, I'm not. If you're watching this, I'm not dragging you. You didn't even know you were a part of it, so anyway, like, whatever. But I digress. Both of them are I can't even say that. Both of them are trifling, though. I can't even sit here. Like, they're grown men. Like, they're, like, they're in their mid-20s. I'm gonna say that. Yeah, they're in their mid-20s, right? So I was gonna start off this, like, topic with, like, grown men who keep on acting like children, because both of y'all be acting like children sometimes. Like, all the time. Like, it's actually aggravating. But, you know, I'm not gonna say too much, because, like, that's a little bit of a deeper topic, because you, for some reason, y'all be thinking that because you act like children, you can hang with children, and that is weird. Anyways... But on the topic of losing friends, let's talk about friendship. That's what today's episode is going to be on, friendship, because I have my fair share of stories about friends and friendships and friendship breakups. Like, I know what I'm talking about, okay? So let's just talk about it, because I did lose a few friends this year. Actually, quite a few friends this year. I didn't even realize, like, until, like, I started planning out this episode, but, like, holy shit, like, where I started the year in terms of friends and where we are now, insane. Absolutely. It's crazy, because, like, and I think that, like, it's weird, because, like, I say this about friendship breakups and, like, how they could be, like, almost worse than a regular, like, romantic breakup, because, like, you don't ever think that, like, you being friends with someone is gonna end, per se. I've said this before, but, like, when you get into a relationship, like a romantic relationship, you, like, in the back of your mind, you think, like, at some point this person could break up with me, or I could want to break up with this person. Like, it's a very normal thing for like romantic relationships to break up. But like, you never really think that when you get into a friendship, you're never all like, oh, this is gonna end soon or eventually, or it could end any day now. Like, that's never something in the back of your mind with a friendship. So when you do have to do it, one, friendship breakups are awkward as all hell. Like, when it's not like a fight, or if it's not mutual but it's not a fight, you have to now go to this person and be all like, I don't want you in my life anymore, which is a hard thing to hear when you're not in a, like, it's weird. It's a hard thing to hear, period, but especially in friendships, it's all like, whoa, like, I, one, did not see this coming, so, like, now, like, it's so awkward. Like, that will never not be an awkward experience. Like, that's actually insane. Like, you think that you're gonna spend, like, most of your life with these people, and then, like, out of nowhere, like, I would rather just, like, have, like, a mutual, like, understanding that we're not friends anymore than have to tell someone that you don't want to be friends with them anymore. That's crazy. That's, like, insane. I saw a TikTok, and it was all, like, it was a joke, obviously, but it was all, like, this friendship is no longer serving me, or this friendship has lost its spark. Bitch. If one of my friends ever came to me and said that, I'd start bawling, and I wouldn't stop for weeks. And I'm not talking, oh, I just, like, cry every single day. No, I wouldn't stop crying from the moment you said that until a week later. Like, I'd fall asleep crying, I'd be crying in my sleep, I'd wake up crying. Like, there would be no period of rest from crying. Because, what do you mean we've lost our spark? What do you mean this friendship is no longer serving you? That's crazy. That's crazy talk. I'm sorry. That is so, like, I wouldn't know how to take that. I think it's just so much worse when you're in a friendship. Like, when you're breaking up in a romantic relationship, it's different because, like, you kind of, like, not expected, obviously. Like, sometimes, like, breakups when you're in a romantic relationship come out of the blue. I'm not saying that it's necessarily expected, but I also think that, like, you kind of, like, know, like, sometimes, like, maybe not in, like, a long-term relationship. Like, if you've been dating for, like, 4 or 5 years and you don't see any problems, then obviously you're not expecting it. But, like, at the beginning of a relationship, it could really end at any time. They could just, like, not be feeling you anymore, and then, like, a breakup happens. Like, I understand that, but when you're in a friendship, that's crazy, because you don't expect it to happen. But, like, on the topic of, like, friendships ending, because I've had a lot of friendships end. Like, I used to say this thing, and I still kind of stand by it. Like, it's tweaked a little bit because, you know, circumstances, but, like, I used to say this thing that, like, usually, like, when you meet someone who doesn't have any friends, and they're always complaining about how they don't have any friends, like, they're always all like, these girls left me for this reason, these guys left me for this reason, like, blah, 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 I have no friends, blah, 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 and they're always being they're always pitying themselves because they don't have friends. Like, I don't really do that often. Like, I know I don't have friends. Like, I have, like, my few close friends, but I definitely had more, obviously. Literally, at the beginning of this year, I had more friends. Like, I've had more friends than I do now, but I do realize that I have a small circle of, like, people in my life, and literally not a single one of them is friends with each other. Like, I'm not in a friend group. I think that's, like, weird. But, like, I used to say this thing where, like, if someone's always pitying themselves over, like, not having friends, and then you're like, oh, I feel bad for them, I should be friends with them, you're gonna find out why they didn't have friends. You're gonna find out why. And it probably wasn't for a small reason, and it's probably gonna be traumatic, but it's a canon event. You're gonna have to deal with it, because I've already warned you. People who don't have friends and are always complaining about it and always pitying themselves out loud publicly, like, maybe feel bad, like, in the privacy of your own home or something. I don't know. But usually when you meet someone who's always pitying themselves because they don't have no friends publicly, you're gonna find out why. I've experienced it too. Like, I've, like, been friends with someone and haven't even, like, clocked the fact that they're, like, complaining a lot about not having friends. Like, I don't even, like, I didn't realize at the time, but, like, looking back, I'm all like, hold up, when I met you, you had no one, and now you also still have no one. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I'll, like, make friends with people who, like, don't necessarily have friends, and this was in the past. I don't do this anymore, obviously. I heed my own advice. I don't do this anymore. But when I was younger, I would make friends with someone who doesn't really have friends, not because I wanted to make myself feel like a good person, but truly because, like, they were there, and I was like, oh, you're kind of funny. I don't know why you don't have friends. Let's be friends. And then I find out why they don't have friends. Like, And it's nothing wrong with it. Like, you're just not my cup of tea, but you're gonna figure out why. So just don't do it. Just don't do it. And also, like, there's, like, certain types of people that you can't be friends with. Like, I don't want to ruffle any feathers, but I didn't understand it until, fairly recently, actually. Like, since I graduated high school, like, I've realized this, but, like, boy crazy girls, if that makes sense. Like, you cannot be friends with boy crazy girls. Like, Cassie from Euphoria, that type of shit. You cannot be friends with bitches like that. And I know it seems harsh, I know it seems rude. I don't care. I do not care. Because they will put your life on the line. They will put your life on the line for a man. Now, if it was for some food, maybe. A man? That's trifling. That is trifling. I'd rather you stab me in the heart. Because why are you putting a man over me? Hello? Like, I've known you for, like, 5 years, and 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and a man you met a week ago is now suddenly your ride or die. That's strange. That's peculiar. Like, it's weird. Dropping all your friends for a man is weird. Doing anything for a man you just met is weird. If you, like, have some long-term relationship and he's, like, pulling, like, ultimatums, sure, whatever, but I think it's weird to pull an ultimatum in a relationship regardless of how long the relationship has lasted. But, like, I would understand if you had been in a relationship with this person for a long time and now, like, they're asking you to spend more time with them or whatever. That makes sense. Like, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be, like, working on your relationship or, like, trying in your relationship. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that if you have to cut off all your friends to be with this person, maybe this person has some weird intentions. Maybe, like, if this person is telling you you need to cut off your friends if you want to be with me, ask yourself why. Like, take a second, think to yourself why someone would ask you to do that. Because I can't think of a logical reason why someone, unless your friends are absolute shit, but even so, like, that's a weird way to go about it, to be all, like, cut off all your friends, instead of just explaining to you, oh, your friends are kind of, like, horrible to you or to me, or whatever the case may be. Why don't you just, like, stop hanging out with them? No, to be all, like, you need to stop hanging out with your friends in order to be in a relationship with me is a weird thing to say, and you should question that. You should use some critical thinking and question that, because it's weird. Like, there should be no reason why a man you met a week ago you're treating like a day one. I am your day one. He is a man that you met off Tinder. Sorry. Speaking of day ones, what is a day one? Because I was under the impression... Sorry, that took me out. Hold up. Because I was under the impression that a day one best friend is someone that you've known since, like, birth, since kindergarten. Like, when you guys were in diapers together. Like, someone that you've known since the beginning. Someone who's been there for you since the beginning. However, it's been brought to my attention that some people don't believe in that. They think a day one best friend is someone who's been with you since the time that you became friends. Let me give you an example. So if I met you, like, sophomore year of high school, and we've never had a falling out since the day that we met, sophomore year of high school, you're a day one. Let me tell you right now, that is not a day one. That's a friend. That's just, that is just a friend. That is just a normal friend. That is not a day one. That doesn't make any sense. Like, what are you talking about, day one? You met them when you were fully adult. You can't meet your day one when you're 25 years old. Please be for real right now. Like, what? Like, why would that make any sense? Like, a day one, like, all of my friends, like, for the most part, we don't really have huge fights or falling outs like that. Like, most of my friends that I have right now, we haven't had falling outs or fights, like, literally ever. So, like, I just don't understand. Like, the people who I have had fights with, we never really rekindled the friend. Like, it's never gonna be back to the way it was. Like, the fact that you have so many friendships that aren't day one, if that's your definition of a day one friendship, it's concerning. Like, why do you have so many fights with people that you only have one day one best friend out of the 50 people that you call your bestie? Hello? Is that not strange to you that you have falling outs with every single one of your friends except for this one day one bestie? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, a day one bestie is someone that you've known since pre-K. Like, this person is your ride or die because you guys, like, literally have lived life together. Like, they know stuff about you that no one now would know. You know, you're not gonna I hope you don't trauma dump on someone that you met when you were, like, 21 or something. Like, you're just gonna, like, go through life and you're gonna be all like, oh yeah, I used to do this, oh yeah, I used to that. They're gonna figure stuff out about you. Your day one should already know everything about you. There should be no secrets between you and a day one. And it's not even like it is a secret. It's just your life. Like, you can't just make someone your day one because you want them to be. They have to be there since day one. That is in the title. I don't understand why we're talking about this. Like, you need to be a day one. Like, you need to be there since day one. Like, how can it be, like, day one of your friendship? Like, hello? Then everyone's a day one. Like, all of my friends then would qualify as day ones because they've been my friends since the day I met them. Like, hello? Like, why wouldn't they be? Like, I feel like a day one is, like, a special title. Like, happy birthday to my day one. Happy birthday to my ride or die. Like, it's a special title. You don't just give that shit around to anyone. You give it to your day one. Like, you can have multiple day ones. I'm not saying that you can't, but they have to have met you when you were younger, like when you were a child, like sometime in elementary school or, you know, prior to elementary school, you know? Like, you can't just make up day ones when you're a grown human. Like, please be for real. Oh my God. Like, but on top of that, I only have, like, 2 long-term, like, friendships, like, in general. Like, I think it was Emma Chamberlain or maybe someone else. I don't really remember nor know, but, basically it was, like, an audio on TikTok, and it was like, I've learned everything I know about love from my long-term friendships with females or women or something like that. And see, I would say yes, but, like, also no. Like, literally no. Actually, absolutely not. Like, the amount of, like, and I'm not, like, putting this on, like, women or whatever. Like, I'm not saying this is a women-only issue. Like, I'm not saying because I've had falling outs with people, like, oh, women are horrible. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. So don't go twisting my words or, like, clipping this and making it seem like I hate women. I don't. I hate specific women, not all women. But, like, I've had some I've watched horrendous shit be done in friendships between girls, and I've also experienced it myself with friendships that I've had with girls. And I'm not saying that negates, like, your feeling of that. I just have never had, like, a long-term girl. Like, I just don't have those. Like, I don't have a lot of those. Like, and the ones that I have, like, the long-term girl friendships that I have, one, are ended now. Like, I have, like, maybe, like, 2 that still stand to this day. But the rest of them, they're all done. Like, they've all, like, exceeded their limit. They've all finished. And they didn't end on good terms whatsoever. Like, at all. Like, I just feel like my history with friendships has not been good. And I don't even know why that is. You may say, based on my theory, it's because of me. It literally is. Like, if I could, I think I am coming out with a podcast episode where I talk about why I don't have the friends that I used to have. Or even, like, the beginning of this year, I had different friends. But it's whatever. I don't think friends is really, like, all that. Like, it's not that I wouldn't, like, miss my friends. That's not what I'm saying at all. Like, it sounds like it when I say, like, that I'd be okay, like, alone. Like, I understand what it sounds like when I'm all like, oh, I'd be okay alone. Like, it sounds like I don't like my friends or I don't appreciate them. I appreciate my friends hella, and I tell them all the time. Like, I make sure to let my friends know how much they mean to me and how much I value them in my life. Like, I never want it to be a question in any of my friends' minds where they stand with me or how much I appreciate having them in my life, because I am so grateful to have each and every single one of them in my life. That is not a question in my mind. However, if you're going to leave and not give an explanation for why you're leaving, I'm gonna let you go. I really can't, like, do anything if you don't want to help me to understand what I did or give me a reason. Like, if you don't want me in your life, that's fine. Like, I get that. Like, people grow apart. People change. Like, it's so totally fine. Like, I'm going to move on regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, I don't want to lose any of my friends that I have right now. That is not the goal. Nor would I be, like, okay if one of them came up to me right now and was all like, I don't want to be friends with you anymore, or just, like, started ghosting me. I would not be okay. But I'd manage eventually. Like, I'm not going to die without you. But also, don't leave, because I will die. No, but, like, I just, like, I don't see a point in me, like, trying to reach out. Like, if I asked you, what I did wrong, and you're not explaining it to me, then it's not on me. I'm giving up at that point. If I have asked you to explain to me why we're not friends anymore, and you won't give me an answer, but you'll give every bitch who even remotely hints at me a reason for why you're not friends with me, then don't be friends with me. 1, keep my name out of your mouth. But 2, just don't be friends with me. Like, if I'm asking you for a reason as to why you don't want to be friends with me anymore, and you don't want to tell me, yet you want to tell anyone who breathes in your direction, you're a bad person. Like, there's no way to put it. Stop telling people your drama, or whatever about friendships that you had in the past if you did no work whatsoever to salvage that relationship. If you know that you ghosted this person and you didn't even explain why, like, you didn't even give them a reason why, you have no right to be telling anyone who literally breathes in your direction that information. Even if they were a shit person, even if they were, like, the most horrible person in the world, they deserve to have friends. Everybody deserves to have someone in their life, and you can't just, like, go telling everyone who they would want to be friends with that they're a horrible person and don't be friends with them, and telling them, like, borderline, like, just, like, your side of, like, honestly, saying only your part of the story or how you viewed things is kind of low-key a lie. Because, like, obviously, like, your side is different from their side. You both viewed everything differently. So, you telling only your side and that person not getting a chance to, like, redeem themselves with these people, you're essentially lying on their name. Like, I can't even, like, put it any other way. You're just being a bitch. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's, like, right to, like, especially if someone asks. If they don't care to ask, if you've tried to explain to them and they don't care about losing you as a friend, then go for it. Go freaking crazy. Like, go crazy, go stupid. Like, do whatever you want. But if they've reached out to you even once, it doesn't even have to be multiple times. If they reached out to you once and been all like, what did I do wrong in this friendship? And you don't explain it, I mean, that's kind of on you. Because not only are you going to go tell other people, but you're now not giving them a chance to improve on that quality that they lacked in your friendship so that they can not repeat that in a different friendship. Like, say that they didn't communicate well, which I know that's a bad example for this scenario. I mean, say that they were always ditching you to hang out with a guy or whatever, right? And you decided to end the friendship, but you didn't tell them. You just ghosted them. And they're all like, wait, why aren't we friends anymore? And you don't say that. They're gonna go make more friends and then do the same shit. They're going to do the same thing to another person and then lose friends again. And you know what? It's kind of on you because you didn't explain to them why they did it. Also, on that note, standing by your friends. I will die on this hill. And people do not like this. But I will die on this hill, okay? Don't even get me started. But I am started, so we're going to go with it. Standing by your friends. I saw a TikTok, and it was this girl saying, oh, I'm so glad we're not in high school anymore, and you don't lose, like, 15 friends just because you had a falling out with one person, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. 1, I will say this with my whole chest, never has someone wrong, like, I've been wronged tremendously in the most egregious ways by so many people. I mean, not so many, but, like, a handful of people, you know? It's whatever. But that being said, a lot of my friends have stayed friends with these people. I'm not, like, I don't hold any resentment towards them or anything for doing so, But I do think it's strange that none of my friends have ever done that. I'm not saying that all the friends that I have now have ever been put in that position. Like, some of my friends, like, have never, like, we've never had mutual friends, so, like, it would never happen. But some of my friends have been put in that position, and it's not like we're choosing sides here, but if someone has wronged me and you stay friends with them, it's not like, oh, like, we're being petty, but it's all like, why do you want to be friends with someone who's hurt me? Like, I would never want to be friends with someone who's hurt you because I would die for you. Like, anyone who's being mean to you, I'm all like, there must be something wrong with them because this person is an angel. Like, my friends are angels. So why are you being mean to her? I don't want to be friends with you. But then, like, the same is not reciprocated back to me. Like, I have never had anyone, like, stand by me in that way where if someone wronged me, they'd stop being friends with them. That's never, like, been something that I've experienced, but I would do that for my friends. Like, I think that, like, especially if you're not close with the person, right? Especially if they're not your friend to begin with. Like, if you know the person through me, that's a whole nother story. Why are you still friends with them after we've had a falling out? And it's not like, I'm not saying, like, oh, a little tiny argument, like, oh, she stole my lip gloss, oh, like, whatever, like, I don't even know. I don't know what tiny arguments are anyways, but I know that, like, they happen. So, like, that's not what I'm talking about. If someone has, like, dogged your friend, like, say, like, a girl, like, knew your friend was dating this guy and still got with the guy or whatever, like, and you still choose to be friends with that girl, like, she literally, like, cheated on your friend. Like, that's essentially what happened. And you're still friends with her. Like, your friend was crying for weeks about this guy, and you're still friends with the mistress. Like, it's crazy. Like, something about that just seems wrong. Like, it seems like you're not, like, valuing that person. Because how can you be friends with someone who has hurt your friend? Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I understand that, like, you're gonna have, like, big groups of friends. You're gonna be friends with, like, a lot of people. But, oh my god. This person could not be so great that you need to stay friends with them. Oh my god. This person cannot be so great that you need to stay friends with them for, like, long periods of time. Like, I feel like that's just, like, disrespectful in a sense. Like, I'm not saying that everyone should drop everyone. Like, I'm not saying being petty. I'm saying specifically if you know this person has wronged your friend in some, like, way, and I'm talking in big ways, like, I don't know, like, cheating in relationship stuff or, like, whatever, like, lied on her name, like, literally fought. Like, if you have a friend who has literally fought another girl and you're still friends with that other girl, what are you doing? What are you literally doing? One, in both situations, that's weird. You're friends with both girls still. Like, what are you doing? Like, there was a fight, like, a physical fight, and you're still playing both sides. Pick a side. Anyways. That was crazy. Anyways, sorry, I was just, like, thinking of someone clipping that. That was not about sexuality, by the way. That was specifically about fighting. No one... Hold up. Leticia will always say, crazy out-of-pocket stuff when we're on FaceTime. Like, out of context, it would be so funny. And I'm always like, clip that. And now I'm on something where someone could clip me saying something out of context and make it sound bad. And now that's all I'm thinking about. Like, I don't want that to happen. Because that's, like, terrifying. Oh my god. Like, imagine someone clipping me going, pick a side. You can't play both sides. That sounds so bad. But you know what I mean because you just watched it happen. But I swear, like, that's all I'm thinking about all the time. What's it called? Another thing I have about friendships, and the two people I was supposed to do the podcast with were men. And I have my grievance with men and being friends with men. One, I hated girls in high school who were always all like, oh, I don't like being friends with girls. I like being friends with guys. They're less drama. Have you met a man? They are the drama. Like, what? Hello? I've been gaslit by men who have been my friends. Like, and, like, to an egregious amount where it's all like men are literally drama. Like, I don't know how to explain it anymore. Like, if you, like, I never trusted girls who said that. Like, if you, if you want to get laid, just say that. Like, you don't have to lie. Like, you don't have to lie. But saying that men are less drama is actually crazy. It's actually insane. I mean, you don't have to be a girl's girl. Like, I'm never, like, gonna be forcing people to be a girl's girl. But hello? Less drama. The two guys I tried to start the podcast with, it's just, like, whenever you're friends with guys, it'll be cool. You know, they're normal people, too. I couldn't even finish the sentence. Anyways, they're normal people, too. But then sometimes you're, like, hanging out with them and then they remind you that they're men. And it kind of irritates you. Like, they'll say something, like, you'll be hanging out with, like, a guy friend and he'll be all, like, he'll, like, objectify a woman on Instagram or something. And it's all, like, ew, why'd you do all that? Like, why are you acting like that? Like, stop acting like a man. Like, ugh, it's so gross because you're, like, friends with these people and they're not bad people at all. It's just, like, the culture we grow up in. However, like, it, like, actually, like, it, like, makes my skin itch, like, thinking about it. Like, it's, like, I'll be, like, chilling and we'll be having a good time. We'll be, like, watching TV, like, doing whatever. We'll just be chilling. And then they'll say something and you're all like, oh, my God, you're a guy. Oh, my God, you're a man. Like, and it literally takes something out of me to be friends with men. Like, it's honestly, like, so, and that's why I'm not friends with men. I have, like, what, like, 2 guy friends at the moment? Yeah, no. But it's so hard. It is so hard to be friends with men, and it's just because, like, there's a disconnect, honestly. I think I have trouble being friends with anyone that I have a disconnect with. Like, if there's any sort of disconnect, and you're not, like, literally a carbon copy of me, like, there's gonna be, like, times where I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Like, I forgot about that. But, like, man, it's just, like, it gets brought up so much. It gets brought up so much when you have friends with guys. Like, it, honestly, almost every single time I hang out with a guy, I get reminded, like, oh, yeah, oh my God. Speaking of which, I was hanging out with these guys, like, a month ago, and I wasn't necessarily, like, hanging out with them. They were just in the group, but they were, like, talking. And at one point, they brought up, like, I posted a TikTok about this, but they said something like, no homo. And I actually, like, in my head, like, it, like, froze and had to do, like, a reboot type of thing, because I was like, ain't no way in the year 2023 you just said no homo and you meant it. Like, it wasn't sarcastic. Like, when I say no homo, I'm all like, oh, can we, like, make out? No homo, though. Like, that's how I'm using it. They were using it legitimately as a way to be all like, oh, no, I'm not gay. Who asked? Literally, who asked? Like, we were, like, vibing, having a good time, and they're nice guys or whatever. But, like, literally, like, saying it for the weirdest things, like, oh, that shirt looks nice. No homo, though. One, way too old to be saying it. Way too old to be saying it. If you're, like, a middle schooler, okay, whatever. I couldn't care less. You are way too old after middle school to be saying no homo and not mean it sarcastically. Way too old. Just being normal. Like, just being normal. And just, like, I can talk about this for hours. But, like, guys need serious help. Like, I truly believe that most men need therapy. And I'm not saying this to, like, dog on them or, like, be, like, rude. Like, I genuinely believe that. Like, that is something that I am very, like, I care about that topic a lot. Not just because of the no homo comments, but, like, just in general, I think that more guys should be in therapy just because I don't think guys are allowed to talk about their feelings. And I think it's changing now, like, more as we go into, like, the future or whatever, but, like, it's so bad. Like, I've read so many articles on, like, hookup culture and, like, how guys play a role in that, and it's all, like, this is, like, sad. And it's sad for the men. Like, it's obviously sad for the women. Like, I know, I'm a woman. But, like, they lack so much, like, emotional and, like, intimacy. Like, it's just, like, they just, like, lack that, like, aspect of their lives, and I feel bad for them. Like, I would hate to be them. Like, it's so sad thinking about it, but, like, also then they say stupid shit, and then it's like, you're killing me. Like, I'm really, like, vibing, like, I want you to be happy. That is what I want from you, but you're making it so hard. Like, just reach out and grab the happiness, and you're not doing it. It's making me mad. It's making me so aggravated that you don't want to just feel love. Because what do you mean? I love you, bro. No homo. Hello? Are we in the same room? Like, I don't understand why you can't say something that isn't even remotely gay. Which one? That's another thing. Why do you care? Literally, why do you care so much? You're not even getting play. No girls are checking for you. So who cares if they think you're gay? They don't care anyways. Like, I just don't understand. Like, it doesn't make any sense why you seem to think that anyone cares about that. Like, I think obviously people care. Like, there are definitely homophobic people out there. But, like, you're saying it anyways. Like, you're thinking about gay people whenever you do stuff. Like, every single time. That's gay to me. Like, I don't know. Like, it's kind of gay to be thinking about gay guys anytime you do anything. Because saying no homo is so weird. It's so weird. To announce to everyone every 5 seconds that you're not gay is the gayest shit I've ever heard. Like, that was me in middle school. Also, I was never like that. Like, out loud. I was never all like, oh, I'm definitely not gay. I was like, never, like, I never had, like, internalized, like, homophobia ever. Like, that was never something that, like, was, like, big in my head. Like, I knew that, like, necessarily that I wasn't supposed to be public about it. Like, that was a thing. But I never really hated myself because of it. I was all like, it's something. I mean, I didn't really have any friends to begin with. So I was all like, it's not like I'm going to lose any friends because of this. So, I mean, like, I'm just going to leave it a secret. But otherwise, I didn't really care. But it's so weird, like, listening to guys, like, constantly. Oh, my God. And I hate when guys are always talking, like, straight guys, straight, quote-unquote straight, are always talking about gay people. Because it's all like, why do you care so much? Like, I don't, like, I'm not trying to, you know, force anyone out of the closet, but it's weird. It's weird that you think about gay people that much. It's weird. Like, homophobia is low-key gay. Because why are you thinking about gay men so much? That is weird. That is a strange behavior to acquire, to have. Like, I don't get it. I've never really understood it. Seek help, possibly. Actually, definitely. You really do need help. And maybe, like, later in the future, you will be better. And I will genuinely pray for that, because that's sick. That's vile. I just don't understand it. I don't understand the obsession with, like, if you don't like something, why are you always talking about it? Like, I've never had that, like, mentality about anything. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I just don't do that. That's, like, weird to me, to, like, always be talking about a subject that you openly say that you hate, yet here you are being the only one in the room talking about them. Like, no one else was thinking about gay people except for you. But, no, men, like, are constantly just reminding me that they're men, and that pisses me off. But, like, I'd so rather, despite how many failed girl friendships I have been through, I would so much rather be friends with the girls. Like, girls are way less drama. Like, maybe guys are less drama to each other. I don't really know. I don't actually know how male friendships work with each other. Because, like, girls will often, like, that was a thing in high school, like, groups of friends would hate groups of friends. Like, that was definitely a thing. And, like, you'd have a falling out and then lose, like, 20 girls that you were friends with. Like, that was a thing in high school. I will admit, it was a, like, very, like, intense in high school to lose a friend. But, like, I never saw guys, like, beefing like that. And, like, at least specifically in my grade, I didn't think that there was, like, a lot of beef between guys. And if there were, like, usually it was, like, you know, gay guys versus straight guys. Like, it was never, like, it was never just, like, guys just, like, beefing over regular shit. There was, like, I think the last year we were in school before COVID hit, like, there was, like, some underclassmen fighting over a girl and they like were physically fighting, but that also never made any sense to me. Like, what do you mean you're punching another man over a girl? Like, grow up. Like, I guess they were underclassmen, but I found that so weird. It was like so out of nowhere. Like, I just didn't understand it because you're fighting. Oh, I thought that was stuff that happened in movies. Like, that's like Shakespeare type shit. Like, what do you mean you guys are fighting over a girl? It's not your decision, is it? Like, if she likes, like, does she like both? Oh my god, that's like Jeremiah and Belly and like Conrad and all that stuff. Oh my god. Like, I didn't think that existed in real life. Like, y'all are fighting over what? It's not even your decision. Like, I don't get that. Like, I never understood that. Like, how are you fighting over a girl? Is she not a part of the decision? Like, she likes one of you or she doesn't. Or maybe she likes both of you, like Belly, and she's stupid. Oh my god. Don't get me started on the Summer I Turned Pretty. Because I hate every single one of them. Except for maybe Steven. No. Steven's weird too. Because how did you watch Conrad? I'm so sorry. How did you watch Conrad do what he did to your sister at prom and then be a Conrad stan? How did you watch that whole scene unfold and literally comforted your sister after Conrad left her at prom? At prom? And you still are a Conrad stan? Even though Jeremiah's your best friend, that was weird. That whole storyline, I don't know what she was writing, but that didn't make any sense because Jeremiah and Steven were besties in season 1. Then season 2, suddenly he's a Conrad stan, even though he watched him literally break Belly's heart. Also, I hate that name. I know it's like old, but I hate that name. You're telling me her name is Isabel and y'all shorten that to Belly? Belly. And she just accepts it and everybody just calls her that? Everyone? I personally would lie in the middle of the highway if that was my nickname. That's just me. Belly? Please. I mean, it makes sense now that I watch the show. Like, I can't imagine her name being something else. But, like, let's be for real. Before I started watching the show, because I think I watched it, like, a few months after it was, like, really popular, like, when the first season came out, I actually genuinely didn't understand what people were talking about. Like, when they would talk about it before I started watching it, I was like, the fuck is Belly? Like, who is Belly? Like, who would name their child Belly? And then they explained it during the show, and I was like, that actually is worse than naming your child Belly. I don't know. Also, like, in, like, friendships in high school, specifically, because, like, I don't think, like, friend groups are like this, like, now, but, like, when we were in high school, naming your friend group, that was friendship suicide. I'm telling you, that was friendship suicide. Because if people know your friend group by one singular name, it's not like, oh, you know, like Jack and Karen, all those, like, no, they know it by one name. That friend group's dead. It's not lasting. It's not going to last. If people know your friend group by one singular name, the second you give and the name comes from you. Like, if the name came from your friend group, like, you guys popularized the name, that friend group is not lasting. I'm sorry to tell you this, but it is dead. The second you named it, you killed your friendships. 'Cause, like, I have yet to see a friend group with a name that everybody knew it by last more than, like, a few months. Like, I'll give it a school year at best, 9 months at most, and then they disband. And then they do the same thing over again, and then name another friend group, and it's all like, please, just take the hint and stop naming your friend groups. You can have friend groups with that. This isn't Disney Channel. Why are we naming friend groups? Like, what is this, Mean Girls? Like, why are we, like, that was the whole point of that, like, it was satire. Like, Mean Girls was satire. They were making fun of the plastics and all those little weird cliques. How did you watch that movie and then after the fact be all like, yeah, let's name our friend groups? Yeah, that's gonna be cool and won't kill our friendships. It is gonna kill your friendships. It did. None of you are friends anymore. Anyway. I saw this other video about friendships, and she had me in the first half. She started talking about, like, how we have platonic relationships that aren't, what's it called? Like, monogamous. But, like, when we have romantic relationships, most of the time they're monogamous and not polyamorous. And it's all like, oh no, like, I feel you. Like, it's weird that, like, we claim, like, one human as our own romantically, but then platonically we can have multiple friends, but you don't really have, like, once you, like, lock in with someone, you don't really have multiple unless you have, like, an open marriage or you are polyamorous. And I was, like, checking with her for a second. I was like, yeah, no, that is weird. Why is that? And then she didn't explain why that was. Like, it wasn't like she was, like, giving her think piece on, like, the topic as to why that is. Then she went in, and then she was all like, so that means we should all be polyamorous. And I was like, one, I don't think that's something you can choose. Correct me if I'm wrong. But two, I'm not choosing that. Like, I don't have a man right now, but this is my man. Not your man, not our man, my man. Okay? My man, my man, my man. That's why the sound exists. Like, why are we sharing him? I don't understand. She, like, went through and I was like, oh, okay, I'm tracking with you. That is weird. And then she was like, so we should all be polyamorous. And I was like, well, now you've lost me and I'm not coming back. I was like, what do you mean we have to be polyamorous just because that's how we treat our friendships? One, no. Because, like, I, like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't do the same things that I do with my friends. I mean, I do similar things with platonic relationships and romantic relationships, but I don't do the same things. So then why would I then apply everything that I use in a friendship to everything that I use in a romantic relationship? That is, no. Why is that the conclusion you came to? But the math is not mathing, and maybe you should never try doing math again, because that is not 2 plus 3 does not equal 4. Like, hello? It was so strange to me that was the conclusion she came to. I don't know. I feel like I have a superior, like, mind sometimes. Like, sometimes, like, I just don't understand when people don't get to the same conclusion that I do whenever we're, like, talking. Like, if I'm, like, stating things and I'm all like, okay, if this is true and this is true, then this must be true. And then people don't follow. I'm all like, no, you're wrong. I'm definitely right. I say this all the time. I was gonna get my family, like, for Christmas because, one, I'm just the best gift giver. That's a fact. Like, I can't even, like, lie. Multiple people have told me that I'm the best gift giver, so no need to fact check. I am. But for Christmas one year, I was going to get them, but then it was too much work. I didn't care enough because, like, I say it enough, so they didn't need it on a t-shirt. But I was gonna get them all t-shirts with my face on it, and it was gonna say, Mary Jo is always right. She's quite literally never wrong. Because I tell them all the time, and they keep forgetting. So I thought maybe they should have it on the shirt. Because I'm quite literally always right. I'm quite literally never wrong. I'm, like, it's crazy. Like, I don't know how I was born with just all the answers, but I was. I literally was. There's no way to, like, spin it. Like, I literally am the brightest person to ever exist. Don't look at any of the GPAs I've ever had. But otherwise, smartest person to ever exist. I don't know what to tell you. I'm always right. Quite literally never wrong. But with that being said, that ends our first podcast episode. This is so exciting because now I get to edit it for hours and then post it and then also make clips, and it's gonna be so much fun doing this all by myself like I intended to do from the beginning a year ago, from literally today. This took a year. It took a year. Anyways, if you want to stay up to date about the podcast, anything going on with the podcast or any clips, have TikTok, we have Instagram, at Sidetrack'd Podcast, spelled like this. If you're watching, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, Sidetrack'd, remove the E, slide that D over. Anyways. And if you want to follow me, that was really bad. I'll figure out a way to make that sound not like that. But if you want to follow me on any socials, I'm on TikTok at maryjo.jessica, and I'm on Instagram at maryjojessica. And thank you for tuning in. I will see you next time.